Is it not broken?
Yep, not broken
Yeah,
anymore.
there we go.
All right, welcome everybody to Theta Thursday this week on the lovely 8th of June. Jesus fuck, summer is in full swing. I was not expecting that.
Oh, I love it. It's been like that like 2 weeks down here in Birmingham.
Dude, it's been raining every goddamn weekend here, and it fucking sucks. Like, yay, it's Tuesday. I go to work, I go out for a smoke break, and it's like, oh
There
my
we go.
god. It's like, oh my god, it's 80 degrees. What such a beautiful day. I'm gonna drive with my windows down. And then Friday hits, and it's like rain, thunderstorms, hurricane warning. What the fuck?
I love rain.
Yeah, Florida did have their first potential hurricane, well, tropical storm formation chance. What,
Yeah.
last week, right?
Yeah, right. It's just like, dude, if I could have one weekend in North Carolina this month that is nice outside on a Saturday afternoon, that would be chef kiss fantastic.
I mean, hold on, Mifune. It's the South in the summer.
Yeah.
You know, Indiana has some of the nicest summers. Yesterday, it was a nice, like, 78 degrees out. I went to the pool, and it was a little cool. Like, it was the evening, so it was just on the edge of warm enough to enjoy it. And did a couple, like, just splishy, splashy laps and some treading water for a little while, and great. Indiana has the best summers. It's never like there's maybe like 3 days a year where it's like insanely humid, like but not even still close to what the South would be. And then we may get like 4 or 5 days in the 90s, maybe 100 if you're lucky. But the rest of the year, the summers are so nice. 80 degrees, sunny, puffy clouds. Maybe a rainy day, rainy day here, rainy day there. Oh,
That's why they grow a shitload of corn in Indiana.
and it's also why a lot of people do stay here because, like, yeah, I would love to be on the beach, but I don't really have severe weather. We just have a lot of different weather. So it snowed.
Not imagine snow in June. Oh my god.
I mean, we've had snow in May, so it's not
Too dissimilar.
that.
No?
Not awful. But hey, we got Eve stuff to talk about this week. Big
There's
Hell
Eve
yeah.
stuff.
Yes, there's Eve stuff, and oh my god, a rare occurrence of it dropping on a Thursday morning.
I mean, they've dropped some stuff on Thursdays. It just depends. I think a lot of times if they know a change is going to be controversial or like iffy, they drop it on a Friday so they can deal with it Monday.
You know, I would not.
But if
be
it's not
surprised.
controversial, that's
would-
totally a strategy. I do that all the time with my clients. I'm just like, and I'm not giving you $7,500. Bye. Have a great weekend. We'll deal with this Monday.
I would not be surprised if that is the exact goddamn mentality that CCP has.
100% is.
Yeah,
But-
no doubt.
But like, if it's not controversial, we'll either get it like Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Just kind of depends on the patch and everything. So
Yeah.
we've had some changes this week. I believe Marauders got kicked in the nuts a bit.
Someone will have to explain that if in the chat, and because I know none of us know. Anyone that
I'm not good with numbers.
No. I've been trying to scrap the bottom of the barrel for what the fuck happened today.
Something with the missile velocity.
Well,
under
no,
that.
because basically some testing was done on Thunderdome, and all of the changes that they were testing on Thunderdome got leaked. And so Wally Martz put up a huge fucking mega thread about it on Reddit. But the problem is, it's Wally Martz, and he's trolled us with changes in the past, right? But it's like bits and pieces of his thread have been confirmed.
So it looks like it's 60-second change to Bastion again.
Yes. So the proposed change to Marauders.
I do see that.
Marauders are the only thing that's really been confirmed as by CCP as to what's changing. Basically, and Kurt's cam went fucking dark again because my monitors are ass cheeks. But basically, the Bastion time has been increased from 30 to 60 seconds. The E-War resistance has been nerfed into nothing, so now you can actually jam a Bastion fucking Paladin without it being horribly to do. The
Or like the
Golem,
other forms of E-War as well.
They're like, hey, so these ships weren't meant to be fleet ships. So
yeah, so
you know who's looking stupid right now.
so basically the next couple of changes here that they made to the Marauders are honestly targeted towards wormholes. So the Golem got a mass increase from 94 million to 157 million. Their inertia was changed to be a bit slower by a couple decimal points.
It looks like high slots got removed on a bunch of them.
Yes, so the Paladin has been changed to, instead of having a 7.5% increase on optimal range per level, it is now a 5% optimal range increase per level. So the fucking beam paladins that are hitting out to like 120, that's no more. That's not gonna happen.
Oh darn, they're gonna go out to 70 or 80 instead. Darn.
No, I mean it won't be. It'll still be right about 100.
It'll
Yeah,
still be
that's
right
like-
about 100. But
that's
not
really
100,
not that.
Not about 120. The problem with long range paladins were specifically shown within ESSs, with members parking paladin alts outside of the bubble. They would MJD off, so they're like 110 off the beacon, and they would snipe anything that comes in that's hostile.
Well, the bubble's only 75, so
Yeah,
they'll still
no.
be outside the bubble.
That's what I'm saying, is that they're outside the bubble, whereas they can shoot at something that's inside the bubble.
No, I'm saying like with this range nerf isn't
Right, but at least I'll be able to
that
burn
bad.
to them. At least I'm able to burn to that Paladin Dawn instead of that being a pipe dream.
What's the percentage here? What's the normal range of a paladin? Let's just do some example math here. Is the 5% like a stacked on like 5% of the new number?
5% stacked.
So it goes like 100 and then 100 plus its 5% is now calculated on the next one?
No. I don't
Or is it just like you get 25%?
You get like 25%.
Yeah, it's 25%.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could normally shoot to 100, you now would shoot to supposedly 125. So what is the paladin? So I don't see how this is going to affect it that bad. Maybe in
that's
some nuanced
because like beams don't have 100 base.
Yeah.
It's like 80 or something like that.
80 for the base. The 100 plus
80
is
times
drugs plus boosts.
So now it would go to 100.
Yeah.
So it loses about 20 kilometers.
Yeah, that's what it's going to end up being.
Anyway, it also got a mass increase from 92 million to 160 million.
Wow, that's a lot.
The Kronos lost a high slot and gained a mid slot.
I was gonna say that could actually use it because it is very much it needs to be close range utility, so it's got to be grappling and grabbing shit. Who cares if you got more guns?
Its structure HP was reduced from 9,500 to 8,900.
Who needs structure? Honestly, you're repping armor anyways.
Its mass has been increased from 93 million to 148 million.
So they made the paladins fat bitches.
They made all of them fat bitches, but they made
no. The paladin she's a thick bitch with like 6 C's.
Yes. Well,
okay.
So
that way you crit. It's so you crit wormholes easier.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically the wormhole community has, if these changes are the final changes, the wormhole community has pretty much fallen into the area of Marauders will be used for your home hole and for your farm hole. They're not going to be leaving the wormhole that they were shoved into.
Well, I would say the Marauders had a year and a half of good fun.
Yes.
Honestly, not bad out of them. I mean, they obviously are still going to be useful.
Yes.
But the 60-second 60-second bastion again. It used to be 60, and then they dropped it to 30, and now it's 60 again. Why is 45 too much to ask for to try out? Why does it have to be one or the other?
I like the 60-second one. It reminds me of it's just like, I guess the Marauder is more along the lines of like a baby triage carrier. So you're kind of getting used to sitting in siege mode for a minute. like you're going to at a capital level.
Right.
Yeah,
The Chronos got a buff to its raw armor HP. So the
Good.
Chronos is going to be even tankier. So I think Don is completely correct in the fact that the Chronos is going to be used for close range utility. And its tank is going
if you think a Scorpion's if you think a Scorpion's a bitch, let's take a Cronus next to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chronos gonna be like your 7C thick.
The Vargar is
thick girl.
The Vargar is getting an interesting change.
Fuck that ship. Fuck that ship.
The
go
Vargar,
die.
The Vargar is now, instead of getting 7.5% to a shield booster, it's going to be getting 5% to both shield and armor reppers.
Yeah, so like true Mimitar fashion here,
Yes.
right?
And then
instead of Kaldari's job,
they're losing a high slot and gaining a low slot.
Okay, so they really are trying to encourage, instead of high volley, high damage, a mix. So you can't just be one or the other.
See,
because Vargars were just doing super high alpha with as much tracking and damage output as they could get because, like, dear lord, they're just one-shotting shit all the time. Just pew, pew.
Well, it's still going to do that. It's going to do that even better now with an extra low. You're just not going to be able to run a smart bomb and 2 newts. It'll just be a smart bomb and 1 newt.
Whatchamacallit, the interesting thing is this has not been confirmed yet. It is speculation that the Vargar will be changing into a missile ship. It's not been confirmed, but it is highly speculated.
I was gonna say, wasn't there a picture showing it getting like a missile bonus or something? Or
there was
missile velocity
of it getting a missile velocity bonus multiplier. But that's not all the Eve news that has come this week. We've had.
Well, I'm just saying that's actually a pretty big amount of Eve news just there.
Yeah.
I personally love my golem, and nothing can hurt my sweet precious child. I'm not a Kaldari person, but when you have 3 golems that you've invested in, you start liking them a lot. Also, fuck Horde and enjoy your useless paladins. I'm glad you guys spent so much
Shameless
money.
Goons plug.
Shameless Goons plug.
Here is the other leaked changes that have been confirmed. And this, I feel like this next section deserves a round of applause from everybody. Because I called it last week.
On the edge of my seat here.
I called it last week, and I was right. The core temp regulators for capital components have half the required materials. Isogen counts on every ship has had half the requirements.
Rip material prices.
The M3 count for PI has been cut in half. PI is a lot lighter now. The Wally said that he logged into Kadima during the Thunderdome test. It had 3 large ochre belts. So Isogen rich ores could be very common now in low, even more than they are. The new border nullsec ores have about 500k M3 per rock. So that reminds me of old Spawn.
Wait, which rock?
The new ores that haven't been totally announced yet, the A0 ores that we've been having.
The ones that they implemented poorly and have no consistency and no one does anything with them.
They're expanding.
Oh, great. Those. I'm glad they're expanding a function that it doesn't work.
So the
Yay!
The theory is that systems that bridge between low sec and null sec and that kind of area, like
regional gates? Region systems?
Yeah, like region systems are going to have these ores, belts for those ores, and they have.
Well, yes, that's where they're already at.
They have 500 KM3 per rock, so it looks like they're getting bigger.
Yeah, but the problem is they don't this belts are tiny right now, so if they make them bigger, that will be better. But they've also created an ore that is worthless because it's almost all pyrite and no one needs that much fucking pyrite. And so those rocks just sit there. No one wants to mine them, but you actually lose money mining them. It would be better served to just do something else. And then the respawn timer, there is no consistent mechanic to understand when they respawn. So you, unless you're willing to just sit there and watch it and try to catch it before other people get to it, you cannot build a consistent career or play style around gathering ores from those things. So that's why I just, after like a day of like looking at them, I said, fuck that shit.
Okay, continuing, all capitals have a rough estimate of -20 material requirements for cat components.
20%?
Roughly 20. So that means capitals,
What the fuck?
building capitals is going to be 20% more easy, rough, give or take.
CC, please.
All carriers have added a roll bonus for damage application at 25%.
Yikes. Okay.
Dread Siege T2 is now 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
So, again, like the stepping stone from the Marauders up to Capital, it makes sense.
Yes. So one of the only things that used to be on this list that has been a confirmed misinformation fact was that during the test on Thunderdome, there was hull guns on Titans and bosons applying to frigates again.
Rip.
We have now got confirmation from CCP that this was not an intended change and was a byproduct of other changes made to capitals.
Wait, which change specifically again?
Basically, during the test on Thunderdome, you could fit hull guns to Titans again, and bosons were applying to small frigates.
That'd be so nice if that was true. I know it's never going to happen.
It is unfortunately not
but
true.
It would be amazing.
Yeah, it was an unintended consequence of the test, and
I don't know why people complained. The game was fun when you got to dodge Titans on gates. It was so much fun. And if you died to a Titan bosoning you at a gate, it was funny.
It was kind of funny. I still remember during the Delve War, I got bosoned because I found a wormhole to test space. And me and a couple of other guys decided we would go buy for Frost and Tosis a couple of iHubs for the memes. And then we were returning to the wormhole and we got dropped on by 6 Titans that were bosoning straight onto the wormhole.
I mean, by that logic, just bring back the AoE Titan DD that you could shoot remotely through a Sino.
See, only one person had fun with that.
I would love to have DDs through Sinos again.
That would be so fucking abusive. But
it would be so goddamn funny.
There's a little bit of a difference between I can boson from across the galaxy because Sinos worked way further than they do now in a way that I attack and no one can stop me from doing it. No one can hurt me while I'm doing it. To I'm on grid with my ship completely vulnerable out in space and I have now pew-pewed you with my shotgun. That you can easily just fly around if you just aren't an idiot. So it's a little bit of a difference. Also, Haw guns on Titans. I don't really know why. Like, I don't know how many people were Haw fighting people that it was such a prevalent problem.
The problem wasn't Haw fighting people. The problem was Haw being used to one-shot the battleships in a Bloodhaven.
Oh no, people using their ship in space to rat in a place where they could actually die and we could lose them? Oh no. I'm not saying that what heaven forbid, people have fun with their stuff. I'm glad that over 10,000 Titans, there is, I mean, we've only seen like 5,000 on the table. There have got to be, I would estimate about 8,000 to 9,000 Titans in the game. Probably some of them, many of them locked away on accounts that are never going to come back. But I'm glad that all of them are docked up, not engaging in space at all. And that these people put 2.5 to 3 years of their training time to be able to fly these ships. I'm so glad at my game design that I created these worthless paperweights.
I mean,
what?
Right. Okay.
tell us how you actually feel, Dodd.
I mean, you know, like if you're gonna make a big bad ship, make it actually useful instead of good at shooting at other big bad ships.
Okay.
That's what it's supposed to do, though.
That's all it does, though, and it's that you get to use that once a year, maybe.
That's not on CCP for forcing people to use their supers and carriers and dreads.
But they
That's
don't
on
use those either.
content
So-
creators, i.e., us.
That wasn't the only thing that was announced today. We also have the corporation's enhanced portion of the new expansion. Now, I went over a little bit of this with you guys pre-show, but that's not even the half of the thread. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to summarize points for each thing, and then we're going to discuss it and then move on. All right, so the first thing up is what we talked about pre-show, the corporation projects. For those who don't know, corp directors are now going to be able to set goals for the corporation. And when you are docked in a structure owned by your corp, you'll be able to contribute to those goals. For example, your director can say, hey, I want you to mine 10,000 M3 of a particular moon goo for the corp. Now, sorry. Of course, my throat's dying now. You can go contribute that ore to the corporation goal directly through the corporation window. CCP has already confirmed that this can also be tailored to in-game buyback programs and other stuff like that. You can tailor it to say, hey, kill this many NPCs, or even, hey, I want you to kill people from this specific corporation. You know, stuff like that. You could put bounties on other players' heads and stuff through that. So it's nice little things like that. And generalizing projects for people within your corporation to collaborate on.
So I see the vision. How useful, like how engaged it will be interesting to see, because there are some features that CCP comes out with. You're like, oh, that seems cool, and no one ever uses it, because at the end of the day, the way the user interface to make it happen doesn't quite line up with what you really need it to do. Or they offer like, oh, you can make corp goals. All of the goals available are ass, and none of them have anything to do with anything the corp would actually want to do. So,
Well,
like, like maybe they're building the skeleton, but I want to know if they've got the meat.
So here's the meat. There's 5 different types of projects that a director or corp CEO can make. The first one is called manual. It is creating a project without any contribution method. So basically, manual is going to be kind of like replacing corp MOTDs, or replacing the bio of a corporation. Like someone wants to join your corp, and you go to the description of ASCII or Karma Fleet, and it's like, hey, make sure you go to these third-party websites to sign up for a corporation and stuff. Now you can move that kind of information into the manual. Or the welcome mails. You join a Goon Corp, and it's like, hey, here's an automated in-game mail showing you how to get to the mumble and everything. You can put all that stuff in a manual instead of a mail. That's what it's for.
Redundancy is a good thing,
Right.
no doubt.
The other one is dealing damage to capsuleers. Corp management can track the damage dealt by their corp members to a specific character or other organizations, allowing the corp to see and influence participation in combat gameplay. They have also hinted at the dealing damage to other capsuleers. They have also hinted at additional options as a in-game PAP system. So there's that. There is killing NPCs, a project specifying the number of NPCs a corp once destroyed. And
is there any benefit to completing these jobs?
So they can be contributions to the corp. For example, the director can say for every 10 pandemic horde kills, you will receive a couple million ISK, and that reward.
Does it automatically do
Yes.
it, or
Yes,
I think
because it will
it also adds
automatically
a
it will automatically pull that money from the corporation wallet into the player's hands, or vice versa. When the player is asked to donate things like ore or ISK to the corp, it will go directly from the player wallet to the corp wallet through the gold transaction.
Okay, so like killing rat thing, you're like, kill 10 million NPCs, and then you'll get you can be like, hey, your reward is 1 million ISK, like just as an example.
10 milli.
Yes.
Listen, I picked a number, okay? If
Um,
everybody's doing it, you can reach that number in a reasonable time frame.
Yes. So here's some fun things. Killing NPCs. This one is a huge one, because you can actually choose whether or not you want your corporation to tag NPCs in a particular solar system. So, for example, I can say that, hey, I want you to kill Blood Raider NPCs, but it only counts towards the goal if you kill NPCs in 1DQ or in J5A, right? You can specify the system for the goal. CCP hopes the use case is that we can leverage the military index of ADMs and create opportunities for corporations to track and increase the defenses against sovereignty attacks. So things like ADM fleets are going to become a lot simpler, because a corp director can just create a goal saying, hey, this ADM system is really fucking low, guys. Go kill NPCs in that, and he can do that through the new system.
I think it adds a layer of transparency too, right? Like a lot of the time I know I've been a part of like corp drives for, hey, let's get a corp titan. And you don't really know where you're at as far as the build, right? And this gives you a lot of information. It kind of peels back some layers here, so that way the guys on the bottom actually feel like they're doing something, instead of just like, hey, please donate to our fort drive, thanks.
Yeah.
It kind of like you said, it kind of adds that transparency to it. So I mean, I think it's a good thing. Redundancy overall is good, especially in a game that's as complex as Eve, that requires a lot of like support structure from like a comms perspective, or like you got to get on your dashboards and all that kind of jazz. So like having all of that redundancy built in, I think is going to be really good, especially for like I'm a big proponent of new bros coming in, and anything that we can do to kind of ease that learning curve, that kind of like build up curve until you get comfortable in nullsec, that's a big win, at least in my book. And then again, back to the corp side, it's like, well, like I know in my corp there's a buyback for a moon goose and other minerals, blah blah blah, PI, you name it, we got it. And I think this makes it easier for directors to just kind of set it up in like a fire forget kind of thing, and it's all going to be right there for you. And you don't have to like wait for your contract to get accepted, or ping somebody on Discord, or ping somebody in whatever app, third party app that you're using. It's just already there, and you can get paid out right away. So
right,
I do wonder how it'd be if like say like the corp wallet gets like extra low for whatever reason, and you go to like drop a bunch of stuff in that is gonna over debit it's gonna overdraw.
That'd be hilarious.
I wonder how that would work.
That's why you have multi wallets, right? Like you have like the corp wallet, and then you have the corp wallet, right? So you just use like give it to the you just use one of your corps as like the bitch corp, and then your other corpse can be still your executor and everything like that.
Right. So the last two are a little tiny ones, which is mining, which we kind of gave for the example of. It can incentivize, and here's the big thing for mining and killing NPCs, as well as all other 5 types. You can track the gathering of everything. So let's say I'm a corp director, and I give my corp mates saying, hey, I need you guys to mine all this moon ore. And then whoever mines the most ore by the end of this project gets a free ship or something, right? I can go into the corporation management screen and I can see how much you specifically have contributed towards the project, and I can sort that list on who has contributed the most and least.
This is it. These are
With
all
the
like on the surface, they're all good. Like this is good stuff. I'm wondering how the actual user interface is going to
yeah,
be and if it's going to actually work the way you want it to.
We're
This
gonna
is something
yeah,
that they can't add in and forget about because we all know they will, because like that is useful and helpful, especially for like mining corps or corps that do corporation construction, because you can set, hey, it sounds like you're going to be able to set, I need x of this much, x of this much. You can donate it, and if they do a reward at 85% of like the price, like they maybe pick prices that week and say this is the price that we're going to pay for, I don't know, it just depends on how they figure it, but like a
yeah.
buyback. And then you can see like, hey, it looks like you guys are fucking slacking on the isogen here. Chop chop, hop to it, get out to low sec. Then
Dawn cracks her whip.
the
get out
last
there. Cha.
the last one is basically what we talked about earlier, buyback systems. They're calling it the deliver item type. It can ask members to deliver specific type of item to certain corporation offices. It enables extensive options for the corp to create buyback programs or encourage contribution towards construction goals, like the corp wants to build a Titan, contribute to it, or the corp wants to build a cube star, contribute to it. That's how the deliver items will work.
Yeah. I think Dawn makes a good point. Like we are talking about CCP here.
Yes.
We keep their. I always try to keep that positivity, that hope that they're gonna do it right. But
Nope.
knowing CCP, their track record speaks for themselves. So I'm gonna continue to maintain. Hey, maybe they'll do it good. Everything's gonna have bugs in it. It's not necessarily gonna be perfect outright. Maybe they hit it out of the park. Maybe they hit a grand slam. Who knows? Most likely, I think we're all confident in saying that that's probably low chance, but could happen. I do think Don's point about the UI is really critical, though. Like
The
if the
UI,
UI is just not
they
good,
have videos of what the UI looks like, and if they, yeah, this is gonna mess up cams and stuff for a minute here, but I can definitely screen share the video of what it looks like right now, and excuse the fucking screen space because I'm not prepared for this, but we'll do it anyway. Um, Let me move this to that monitor. Kurt, your cam's gonna be a little bit fucked. Probably if I
do
can
your
get
thing.
this. Okay, yeah. Your cam's gonna be, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so this is the screen of what the corp goals looks like.
Okay, I mean it's not hateful by any means.
No, not at all. And so they segue this straight into the next thing, which is air opportunities. Air opportunities are going to replace the current iteration of the journal.
Yeah. So I think this is probably a good change because of the way that they bridge it between getting new bros linked up with old bros and then kind of stepping stone slash hand holding them to getting them kind of leaning towards faction warfare in a way, which I think the faction warfare changes have been good, very very good, honestly. Which is what I was kind of talking about when they announced those changes, that it was going to be more engaging, and that I think they've achieved that entirely. I think this is going to create more engagement, which, faction warfare being a stepping stone for new bros to come out to null, great, whatever. Something that's going to get everybody involved doing stuff and things. I'm always about it. So,
Yes. Okay, so the air opportunities replacement for the journal, is supposed to be an interface where players can find activities relevant to their day-to-day gameplay. So, we all have the agency, which it works to a similar purpose. It shows you ESS's information, Abyssal Dead Space info, stuff like that. And while that's great and all, the Air Opportunities window is more tailored to each player's day-to-day gameplay. So you guys are in nullsec. Your Air Opportunities window is going to look so different than mine, because I live in wormhole space. So my Air Opportunities window is going to be tailored to wormhole activities, because that's how I am flagged. Is the mic not loud enough, guys? Sorry, I am trying out.
It's like two people who can't hear you.
A new room set up, so things are placed differently than they were. Anyway, so basically that's what Air Opportunities are going to be. The biggest thing,
I get all those air thingies, and basically air for me is like, ooh, free jump bridge money, because that's all I fucking get. 25,000 is there, a skill book here, a skill book that I already have the stuff for. I'm like, why? Just no, I don't need connections again. I have 4 connections books.
Sell them on Market Dawn, make it. No, I'm kidding.
They're not even worth anything because you get them for free.
Okay. So, the biggest thing that comes with Air Opportunities is the announcement of what homefront operations are. Now, if some of our viewers were here with us last week and a couple of weeks ago, we got a hint of homefront operations with the VFX changes. The video that came with that gave a small hint to homefront operations, and now we finally know what they are. Now, before I go into this, as I told Kurt and Don before the show, when I read information about this, I instantly get taken back to World of Warcraft dungeons, and I instantly get taken back to Overwatch in some aspects. So we'll go over this. Homefront operations are going to be discoverable through Air Opportunities. They are activity sites that will bring experienced capsuleers and new capsuleers together to do activities. The goal of Homefront operations is to establish social connections and introduce fleet gameplay to new players. They will offer a perfect opportunity for novice pilots to practice both combat's logistics and hacking skills in a relatively safe PvE environment while in cooperation with others. The high-sec nature of the Homefront operations makes the activities it offers a logistical step after the completion of career agents, especially if some players are apprehensive about venturing into deeper areas of space with lack of experience. Now, basically, the way that this is going to work is that veteran players like us will be able to queue, or not necessarily queue, we can sign up for these Homefront operations and form a fleet. New players will then join that fleet under the guidance of us veteran players. Okay, and basically we act as a tour guide for these new players and bring them along a fleet-based high-sec mission. And it encourages cooperation and a learning experience for the new players and veteran players. These Homefront sites will basically include rats from opposing faction warfare spaces. So if it turns out that everybody in fleet is a Caldari pilot, you're going to have Galente NPCs facing you, as well as pirate and rebel groups depending on what area of space you're in. While flying around in high-sec, you'll also see brand new billboards and posters, as well as the corporation propaganda and in-station announcements that will communicate the atmosphere of the rising tensions between the 4 empires. That's a couple of lore stuff. At the launch, Homefront operations will have 6 different types of adventure, optimized for about a fleet size of 4 to 5 players. experienced capsuleers will be able to pick from the fruit of the litter of newer capsuleers to join them in a small group. The players can test out different roles in that content depending on whether you're scanning and hacking, DPS, or Logi. All three of those will be encompassed into different homefront operations. These sites take about 15 minutes to complete and give a chance for players to meet new other people and start flying in fleet cooperative combat. New players can expect to get increased rewards from participating in homefront operations, and they guarantee that homefront operations will be more lucrative money than any other solo high-sec activity. So that's more money than miners, that's more money than mission runners. Overall, this is going to be the high-sec moneymaker for new players, whereas veteran players will not get so much. So this prevents high-sec Care Bears from fucking, running these sites into oblivion while still being incredibly rewarding for new players. The operations themselves will include content that requires players to mine asteroids while increasingly challenging enemies spawn over time. Hacking points in a site lower the defenses of a specific NPC, allowing it to be destroyed quickly.
So this is just a Tinder for Eve?
It's kind of, think of incursions.
Love that, Don. That's perfect, Don.
Yes.
Yes.
This
Finally, I can meet my Eve wife. I've never been so excited.
I think of it a lot like incursions. I feel it's a lot like incursions where everybody
but in incursions,
has their own...
no one's allowed to talk.
Well, yes, but...
So how do you meet people if you're not allowed to talk? Because the FCs
Don.
always scream at you for being like, "Hey guys, how was your day? Fuck you! Shoot the rat! Get the Nyarjas!
Yes,
Get them! Get the
You're
Maras!
not my Eve wife. What have you done with her?
So, they're going to encourage all aspects of Eve, including mining, hacking, Logi, and DPS, and include all of that. They will also contain the stunning new volumetric clouds for in immersion's sake.
Wait, you volumetric in like mineable or just in the way annoyance?
Volumetric clouds, like imagine the clouds that you see in abyssal space, but beefed up to be even more pretty.
So just in the way and pretty.
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure. Gas is a stupid mechanic in this game, and they shouldn't have it anymore. It's dumb. Anyways.
Okay.
A lot of venom from you tonight, Don.
What do you guys think of that change?
Love it. Give me my Eve wife. I've been waiting for Eve Tinder.
If it's a way to meet people in the game and do shit together, it's clearly Eve Tinder.
I'm excited for it because it's going to be great for that. Okay, the last couple points before we have to end. There's 2 more points left, and these ones are the quick ones. So the next one is loyalty point incomes for corporations.
This one's a big one. Why did you take forever to get to this one?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm going just down
Fuck
the dev
Eve Tinder, Eve fake Tinder here.
Wow,
this one's
Dawn.
way more important.
Don't shit on my dream.
Okay, so the expansion will allow corporations to receive income from loyalty points. The rate is set by the corporation for the percentage of ISK that it receives from members earning LP, and it will also be applicable to all activities generating loyalty points. It will be a source of revenue for corporations, as LP can be exchanged for items in the LP stores and that are then traded in for ISK on the markets. As a result, corps will now have more resources and better infrastructure, being able to spend LP on corporation activities. Corps of all sizes can take advantage of loyalty point income and incentivize members to carry out activities in New Eden that reward LP through the new methods explained earlier through corp goals. One example is the running of faction warfare missions, where previous corps would only see a relatively low benefit from the percentage of members' ISK income from those. Introducing LP taxation allows corps to increase their income from members running faction warfare missions. Direct enlistment, introduced after Uprising, already acts as a foundation for outside corps to promote faction warfare as an activity. The LP could then be spent by the corp CEO or anyone at the director level to obtain items from LP stores with corporation LP wallets to distribute to members or build fittings from faction warfare modules and ships.
We get it. I don't need to
Yeah.
read the whole thing here.
Sorry.
Just as a story, is something that the corpse actually needed, not just these weird goal thingies here. Like being able to get access to another income source for corporations that they can automatically set and use for things that they actually need. Like,
I mean, more taxes is not I'm not a fan.
yeah, well,
I feel like corp income and alliance-wide income is like
it's already pretty pathetic.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not that much. I've seen the wallets. Like, to give you an idea, for like a corporation the size of like Sundering, which has maybe like 70 or 80 like real people in it, so I would say pretty average nullsec corp. The corporation wallet would be normally sitting at about 90 to 100 billion, and that was after saving for a while, and that was like and also trying to sell stuff. Corporations make like almost nothing off taxes unless they like gouge people, because most people put a lot of their alts in alt corps to keep their taxes. I get it, respect the game here, but at the end of the day, if you want your corporation to provide you some of the services you like SRP, structures, mining platforms, free ships for corporums, all the little programs and stuff you do,
that's fair.
They still need to make something.
I just get inherently nervous around government taking more money from me. This is Eve government taking more money from me, but I understand.
Yes.
I understand.
The last little bit of that is also that coming with the launch of the expansion, corps within alliances will also be able to donate the corporation Evermarks to the executive corporation of the alliance that they are within. So now can I not only get Evermarks for my corp, I can also go and turn around and donate those Evermarks straight to DJ's alt corp within the alliance.
Yep, your wormhole corp, the executor corp is ours. Yes.
I'm saying that.
Make sure to send all Evermarks to DJ Corporation. I don't think you have to be in the alliance to donate.
You do have to be in the alliance to donate. It says they have to be a part of the alliance for at least 30 days. The executive corp of the alliance can also donate the Evermarks to any corp within their alliance. And it also allows the holding corporation of structures to be able to use the new skinner and apply the skins, and stuff like that.
Pink Keepstar. Keepstars are way too expensive though. Like, what the hell? It's like 10 million or something.
Yes.
A month? 6 months? A lot.
It's
and it's not even permanent. It's not even permanent. It's like, it's just like rental of like, hey, we're gonna let you spray paint this building temporarily
for 180 days, and you're gonna pay us a shit ton of Evermarks for it. But
fuck having little logos on your ships.
Yeah.
So the last change to go over here that they talked about is NPC tax reforms. So there are changes coming to brokers' fees and industry job fees. That is.
Wait, do we have to have inflation in this game too?
Hold on. That is supposed to create a more equitable environment for industrialists,
deflation,
leveling the playing field, and creating more opportunities for groups to increase profits by utilizing observable knowledge. So previously, the SCC would take half of the cut taken from the broker's fee, which really ate into the ability of Citadel owners to earn any profit, especially if they wanted to stay competitive with a low tax rate. Now, facility owners can earn the full amount, with the SCC taking a fixed 0.5% instead of 50%.
I wonder.
Wow, that is a huge reduction.
Yay!
That's huge.
There you go.
Similar changes are being made to industry job installation fees. giving facility owners the ability to earn more income from their structures, especially located in low-indexed systems, increasing the value proposition for a corporation of owning an upwill structure.
Remember, guys, spread the fuck out.
Additionally, changes are being made to how industry job installation fees are calculated. System bonuses are being removed entirely. They have existed since the creation of the industry index system, but have remained relatively obscure. Those with this knowledge or lucky enough to live in an area to experience these benefits would previously have had a significant competitive advantage over others.
Yeah, a lot of people that like, especially newer ones. So, like anyone that's started playing kind of like when I did and later, didn't realize that the eggs, the player stations you put in, also would set. I believe that's when you could set the system bonus that you wanted, and some of those were like industry and stuff. Well, after they got flipped to the faction Fortizars, the system bonuses didn't disappear. There's like a non-warpable or like this tiny little like beacon, I think, out in space that like indicates what they are, but it's nothing you can interact with or shoot or do anything to. But it's a very old thing from like POS code, basically. Station code. I don't know if POSes came after stations or before, but yeah. So removing that actually is kind of a big deal. They finally remembered something from so long ago that I'm sure most of the employees there have never even fucking dealt with that code before.
I think it's very, very good. It's basically going to overall make it so that, biggest example being Goon's GEZ zones, and how they're like, hey, this system cost index is like really low because nobody's doing anything in it. That's where I'm going to go do my business. That line is going to be a lot easier to see and a lot easier to cross now, so that it levels the playing field for newer industrialists that don't want just the big bad 15-year-old vet to undercut everything they do.
Yeah. I think this will be good. I'll be honest, I don't really know about the nuance that applies to this system bonus, so I can't comment too much.
Basically, what it is that certain iHub upgrades would lead to certain systems having a certain bonus on building, right? So,
I mean, I get how they work. I just don't know the details.
So the biggest problem with it is that the more people that do industry in a particular system, the tax for that system increases, and the system cost index
significantly.
It gets really expensive,
significantly higher.
And so a system,
you have to spread it out basically to try and lower it, but not every system has the services for building per se unless you put that type of structure up.
So now that will flatten that feature out a little bit to make it more clear which systems need industry and which systems you need to calm the fuck down on so that it doesn't get overly expensive. So that's going to be really good for new industrialists. Out of all the things we talked about today, what are you guys most excited for?
I'm excited to watch the Marauders get fucked because they ain't hurting my baby. And I am excited for the. I mean, I'm not gonna say excited for, but it's definitely needed, the LP stuff.
Ooh, Dawn said more government.
I don't do anything that they can take my money from, so haha, doesn't hurt me.
Wow, got him.
Like everybody else.
I'm also interested to see the Marauder changes. I always like when the meta gets mixed up a little bit because I feel like as a culture we get set in our ways in EVE, and I feel like some tinkering is always good just so that way we're not seeing the same thing over and over and over again, right? And we have multiple years of the same thing going on and on and on. Keep it spicy a little bit and move stuff around. Force creativity. And then I guess really the other thing is I'm interested to see how this whole kind of like corporate goal thing works. I like to see what the team is working on. I'm a big team player, so I hope it implements really well. You know, I think Dawn's stance is the right stance, but I'm gonna throw a little more cautious optimism in than where Dawn is. Mifune.
Yes. So I think my favorite thing is the homefront operations. I have been begging the CSM and begging CCP for 2 years now to give us something that bridges the gap, like within the game, that brings new players and veterans that want to help them together. Like, we've had Ricky help and all that, but as far as gameplay retention goes, it hasn't done its job. So like, I really hope Homefront systems bring in that factor, because, you know, I get taken back to when I started playing Destiny 2 for the first time. And there was a thing where you could flag, hey, I'm an experienced player and I can teach you how to do the new stuff. And then it would put you in a match together or a dungeon together, so that you can make that sociable interaction. And I think it's just, it amazes me, and I hope to see it succeed. I want it to succeed.
Yeah, it's I was kind of torn between that and the Marauder change, but I think you make a good point about there not being a bridge, Mifune, that between. I guess what I'm going for is that since we are playing such a social game and it has that like really steep curve to it, if you're not getting linked up with somebody right away, if you're not getting linked up with a group right away, to just kind of forge your own path from with no knowledge or no real like genuine resources. There's obviously lots of resources out there to get to help you out, but like if you don't know how to look for the resources, you're gonna struggle, right? And that's like an age-old problem with this game. So new players are the lifeblood. That's why Eve is 20 years old. So you know, if we can make that gap like what Mifune is going on about, smaller between the new and the old, and get everybody touching, that's not appropriate. Somebody just getting everybody linked up, that's gonna be the best for us all. So
Yeah. All right. Well, we actually filled the show today with the enormous amount of topics CCP dropped on us fucking for once.
yeah,
So I think we'll
we are at the end.
move on to final thoughts. Kurt, what you got for tonight?
I'm gonna just do my traditional sign off, man. Like, I just hope everybody finds something positive about Eve, and stay optimistic about what CCP is trying to do. They're obviously trying. Doesn't mean that it's a good try, but they're trying. We can work with that, right? So, hope everybody has a good Thursday night, and we'll see you next week.
All right, Don.
For me, I hope everyone has a great week, and I thank all of our guest Kurt come and hang out with us today. Summer's coming up, so there may or may not be weeks that Mifune and I are busy. I know I'm gone almost the entire month of August, and so we'll just keep you posted on as we do shows, and then I hope everyone keeps clear of the air if you're in the New York side of the country, and stay safe.
Of course. Well, for my final thought, I hope everyone has a good weekend this weekend. Hope everyone is recovering from weekends previous with Memorial Day. Drink safe. Never not. I learned that mistake the hard way. But
know your limit.
Yeah, right. Know your limits. But I hope everyone has a great weekend. Stay safe with all of the air shit that's going on. Because fuck Canada. Um,
Goddamn Canadians.
blame the Canadians, man. I blame them. But yeah, I just hope everyone has a good and safe weekend. And we will catch you guys next time.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
Night.
guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.